Okay, so we're making a chicken waterer. The blue bucket over there is our feeder, which is in process. But this water comes from a great idea from Rob Bob on YouTube, and I'll put a link in the comments about where to see where we got the idea. We got this beautiful black bucket, super nice and black, from Lotus here in Asheville. Great place to go to. Well, with these buckets, I'm not going to have any problems with algae because no light's going to be getting in there, so that's pretty sweet. I've got some glue over here, which is going to help when we're putting together the PVC piping. We've got a 2-foot pipe, and our measurements are a little different than what you can necessarily find in Australia, where this guy Rob Bob is from, so I'm just sort of showing you the American version of what works for us. And then a T over here to the left, 2 caps. We got 4 nipples. Got all those at Lotus as well. And this super cool black gasket, we've used those also on the feeder. We're getting these at Lotus also. It's making things really nice. See that black gasket around the piping? What's really cool is we're not going to have any trouble with water coming in or out. So it's going to act even better than sealant. The sealant we're going to have to use on the end caps and things like that. So we'll get started. All right, so my fabulous husband has cut a hole into our bucket. So you can see that hole there. He doesn't know I'm taping, so now he thinks I'm talking to him, but it's not true. Anyway, so there's the hole, which he also, well, I won't even mention that. We got another one of these gaskets from Lotus, which I think I showed you. It's going to go right into that hole. And then this was our, oh, there's my dog. Hi, Pippin. This was our 2-foot long PVC pipe, which now has got 4 drilled holes in it for those 4 nipples that we got hanging around here. And the way these nipples work, slightly different than the ones I've seen from Rob Bob's site. These ones, which, as I mentioned earlier, we got from Lotus. I'm going to sound like a Lotus ad, aren't I? It's so horrible. Okay, this is this little rubber piece. And you take that off the nibble, put it into the hole. You can see my husband's done one here. Let me see if I can focus this a little better. There. And I'm going to do the same thing. So on this next hole, I'll take one of those little rubber pieces, work this fellow in here, and then I'll end up taking one of these nipple ends, and to my understanding it takes a little bit of finagling, but wiggle it back and forth till it sticks inside. This is our T-piece. The 2-foot length was cut basically in half with a little extra here. This extra is to fit into the gasket that we're going to be using, which is going to work a lot better than just some kind of caulking material. So that's our next step, is to put all the nipples in, and then I'll start gluing the ends on and come back and show you what we've got. Okay, so we've got 2 of the nipples in, 2 not in. So first, my fabulous husband is going to show you how difficult it is to jam that nipple into the rubber gasket. Not really happening. So in our geniusness, we have discovered Trader Joe's, I know, shocker, coconut oil. So he's going to use a little coconut oil, super little, and put it on the end of the nipple here. And in theory, it will slide right in. The first 2 almost did. Point is, we were able to get them in from not being able to budge them to actually getting them in there. And coconut oil, again, antimicrobial, so it should be able to, I feel very comfortable. Obviously, I eat it all the time. This is a bad example of showing it slide right in, isn't it? All right, it's going to happen. There, yay! All right, a little coconut oil. That's the trick, people. All right, well, this is our black bucket that we got from Lotus. Again, the black color is going to be awesome. So as a chicken waterer, we're not going to have the same kind of concern with algae that we'd have with even the buckets you could get at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're a little translucent. So for the feed, not as big of a deal, but definitely for the water, black is the way to go. And we've got this fancy dancy gasket that we also picked up at Lotus, and that's gonna really help to last a lot longer than caulking would last and hopefully be super waterproof. And then this part is all put together now. This is our, whoa, check it out. It looks gigantic on the screen because I'm so close. But this is going to be all the pieces, all the PVC we've put together. We've used that marine, it's actually good. It's a kind of caulk or glue for aquariums. And we picked that up actually in Black Mountain at the Town Hardware. And these are the nipples we got from Lotus. And then all the PVC we got from either Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't remember. And then this is our T-shape. And with the T, we have a little teeny piece of extra, and that's to fit inside the 1-inch gasket that we've got. So the theory is that I'm now just going to push this into the gasket. Let's see how well that goes. I was going to wait for my husband, but he seems to think it won't be that hard to do. No, not so hard. Well, I'm going to have to rearrange it to actually get it in there, put it sideways, so you won't be able to see me doing it unless I rearrange everything. But that's going to be the general idea. I am going to have to put it sideways to really stick it in there. It's a little too high and too difficult for me to do without putting the whole bucket on the ground to manage it. And then I'll be back with our water test. All right, here's our bucket with the nipples in it, and it's been plugged in. The PVC piping's been plugged into this black gasket. When I tried to do it, I ended up bowing the bucket in, so I didn't want to break anything, so I waited for Mike, and he put a hand on the inside and on the outside and just smashed it in. He said it was really easy for him. So there you go. I'm now going to get a regular bucket and put some water in there, and we'll test this puppy out. All right, excuse me while I walk in front of the camera. Here, I've just got a bucket of a pail with some water. Hopefully water won't go flying everywhere. We'll find out. So far, so good. All right, and that is just enough water. Yep, it's just covering inside this black pail. It's just covering the inside of the PVC pipe. No leaks. The gasket's holding up beautifully. Nice. And I don't see any leaks on any of the nipples. So if I was a little chicken and I was going, bloop, 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 there's some water. I'm going to do this to all of them. Yep, water's coming out. Water, water. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some paper towels down here and sort of watch it and make sure that it doesn't leak after it's been used. But so far, looks pretty good. Again, really inexpensive. The bucket and the gasket got from Lotus. If you've got if you don't live in Asheville, if you have a different kind of aquaponics place near you, that would definitely be worth looking at. The nipples, if I end up having any trouble whatsoever, I'll probably just add a teeny bit of electrical tape, plumbing kind of tape around them. But these little rubber pieces that these ones came with should hold it pretty well. And again, a teeny drip is, a drip here and there is not a big deal. We just don't want it to be constant. Otherwise, any kind of litter we're going to have underneath in the run area will have some trouble. There you go. That's what we've got. Enjoy. All right, so it's, I don't know, a good hour after we had done this, and I thought everything was all good. And there's the paper towels. I had wiped it clean, and you notice two of the nipples, it happens to be the one to the far right and to the far left, still are dripping. So I'm going to be looking into that and see what we can do about it. Good. All right, so what we've done, because these outer nipples were leaking, the inner ones were okay, so we've got all 4 of them. We've replaced the 2 outer nipples. We went back to where, to Lotus. We told them, hey, these ones are leaking a little. They said no problem at all, and we exchanged them for 2 more. So we're going to see how these ones work. So the water is high enough. It's above the white PVC pipe. So once again, you can see around this gasket, no leaks at all. And here we go. We've got these 4 nipples. So right now, no leaks. So this is good. But the question is, of course, when a chick comes by to get some water, they'd go peck, peck, peck. And we want to make sure some water comes out. There, we got a little water coming out. The key is that we don't want it to keep coming out. So I'm going to do this to each one of them. Get enough that we get water out. Another thing you want to watch, if you do have a leaky nipple, which sounds like something dirty, but it's just here for chickens, is you want to see first at the gasket if around at the top the leak is coming from. In our case, both of these end nipples, they were leaking actually at the metal part down here. Actually at the metal, not up high at the gasket. So if my fabulous cameraman can just take a look at the bottom. This is going to be paper towels. I'm going to put down some dry ones. This is from what I just did now. Put down dry ones. I'm going to come back in 20, 30 minutes and make sure that they're not leaking. That's it. All right, we are very psyched. I'm very psyched. Just a teeny drop to the left, all negligible. Basically, we've got pretty dry paper towels, and I had even gone up and flicked these nipples really hard. I sound so dirty when I say that, right? Yeah, and there's even a little drop just clinging to this one metal piece here. Let me see, I'll get you better focus. Yeah, it's just clean, but it's not going anywhere. So we are good to go. Waterer, thanks to Rob Bob in Australia. I think he's Australian. He sounds Australian. Yeah, that was an idea I got from him. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there doing stuff like this. And thanks to Lotus for the nipples and the ultra cool black pail and the heavy duty gasket. So we're very pleased with this, and we'll see how it goes when the girls are a little older. They're only 1 week. So when they're bigger, this is what they're going to get.